Okay, really briefly, I want to basically use this time to um, show a simple, basic PowerShell script that utilizes multiple technologies. Kind of give you an idea of the power of PowerShell. It also use it as an opportunity to train and practice myself. So I'm going to share my screen. I'll share just my PowerShell window screen. What you're looking at right now is PowerShell ISE. PowerShell ISE basically is a place for you to write PowerShell code and then test it on a target system without just running one single line. You're probably familiar with just the Windows PowerShell console, where you're able to, run a specific PowerShell script under the context of PS1. What we're doing here is giving us an opportunity to just build stuff, do whatever. So we're going to do a new window. We're going to say, hey, we want to do something, and we want to do multiple things in PowerShell, and we want to do them in a specific order. So in order to do multiple things in PowerShell, oftentimes the best way to do it outside of writing a bunch of code and expecting all this code to just run. This is just blah, blah, blah. But the idea is you write a bunch of code and you expect all this code to do something. Or I'll give you a better example. Let's say you have your Active Directory module and you want to get the users that are in Active Directory. I can go get AD, this is probably a better example. Get network adapter. So what this script does, if I run it, it gets all the network adapters on my computer. See that? And it actually tables them well, and you get a good overview. Well, let's say I wanted to get my network adapter, but I also wanted to get something else. Let's say I wanted to get process. Get process. There we go. So I wanted to get all the processes running on my computer. So that it's going to go for a long time. There's a lot of processes. So let's say I wanted to get process name, and what kind of name? We'll say, oh yeah. So the cool thing about PowerShell, name, and these are the different processes that are running. It's already kind of helping me out there. Is it get explore? So now I can say get process name explore. So now it's getting the explore process and it's giving me all the information about that process and what's going on. Same principle with the network adapter. When we just ran it, we got everything. Let's say we only want to get process Wi-Fi, right? So we'll go get process name Wi-Fi. Now I'm going to get the process name Wi-Fi. What if I want to get both of these processes at the same time? I can run it like that, right? Boom. So now it's showing both of these processes, but we don't really have a lot of information here, right? It's just, we have the information, but it's kind of weird. It's like, okay, I'm giving you all the information without any context, right? So we could say, hey, I want to do this, but then I also want to tell everybody what's going on, right? So I want to get network adapter, and I want to write host. And what I want to write in the host is this is the Wi-Fi adapter. I'm putting this all into one sentence structure. So basically these colons is saying, hey, this is what I want to do, and this is what I want it to actually print. So write host, write to my console window this. So you can see it right here. This is the Wi-Fi adapter. Well, let's say I want to write host like that, but I also want to let's see, write it in a specific color, right? Cool thing about learning how to do stuff, you can do stuff multiple times and then you can remember it. You're gonna pull these, well, to keep it basic, let's first do this. I'm gonna do function green. So ignore functions right now. It's a word up here that says function, ignore it. Just understand that it's all tied together, and we'll explain what functions are in a minute. But here, I'm going to put this down here. Red. Right host. what I just do? Right now, ignore the fact that it's a function. Just realize I'm running this to put this in memory. And then now I can do this, right? Host, and it should write it in red. Okay, it didn't actually write it in red. Should say right host. Output. Right host and right output are actually very different. Not extremely different, but they're for different purposes. So let's go right output. There we go. Right output, and we're gonna pipe it to red color. Now it's it. You see, this is the Wi-Fi adapter. So we've given it some context, right? So if I run all this together, it gets the Wi-Fi, and now it's also giving you some context as to what it's doing. That's all cool. What if you want to do the same thing with Explorer, right? You want to run it, but you also want to, give some context as to what's happening. We'll say this is Explorer. Yes, this is Explorer process. Yeah. I don't know why I always feel like that's not the right way to spell it. Okay, so we got right output. This is the Explorer process. And we'll say, hey, write this one in green. So now you have a little bit of some context, just a little bit, but let's go further. So what is this going on up here? It's function. So a function basically takes a command and writes how to make the command happen into the memory of the computer. So if I just run function green, nothing will happen. This is just storing that, hey, the color green needs to be added to the memory so that I can call the color green and do something. And this is how you basically write the foreground to a specific color. So this is how you change the color of text, of output. So right host is communicating with the actual output that's coming out, and the output is the text that you put. So I know we're getting a little complicated, but just think of this as function red, function green. Write how to write things in red and green to the memory of my PowerShell window. All right. So now we have these two things we've written in memory. Well, let's say this command get network adapter and this command get process should also be a function, because we don't just want to run all of this like this. So we can run all of this like this, and look what happens. It runs it well. It says, hey, this is the Wi-Fi adapter, it writes it in red, and it says, hey, this is the CPU, the Explorer process, and it writes it in green. But this is kind of ugly. You're running everything exposed, right? It's not controlled. Let's say I want to run get process first and not get network adapter. Well, it's always going to write get network adapter first instead of actually writing get process first, because we don't really put any controls into our script. So to make this a function, we're simply going to go right here and we're going to type function, just lowercase function. We're going to name our function get network adapter. We'll name it that. We'll name it network adapter. Function network adapter. We're going to put this here as a way to enclose our work. And then we're going to come down here and we're going to close our work. So now all of this is closed inside of this function, enclosed in the function. So now we have three functions, right? So inside of the get network adapter function, we call red, which correlates to here. So when I call red inside this script, it's actually calling this function that's up here. Same principle for down here. Let's say function process. Function processes. Close all of this inside of a function. Now we have four functions. So now to call the get network adapter and call the process functions, we can call them in order, and we'll put get network adapter, we'll put process. We'll say and process. Now, run all of this together, we get the same output. How is that happening? Well, actually, we can only just run this right here, get network adapter, and it's running specifically the get network adapter function that we identified, as well as the processes function will only run the processes function. So the purpose of this is to give you an example of extremely complex PowerShell scripts that go way beyond something like this. You may have 100 functions, and all those functions may need to run in a specific order. So imagine if this get network adapter and this get process was actually install network adapter or uninstall network adapter and stop process, but you wanted to install the network adapter and stop the process in a specific order. Maybe you wanted to stop the network adapter first and then kill the process, or vice versa. And then on top of that, install this software. And then on top of that, do something else. And then do something else. And then do something else. If you just put it all into PowerShell, the actual commands, instead of wrapping them up in functions, what will end up happening is your PowerShell script won't really know what should go first. So it'll try to do everything in the list of the PowerShell, and you get a bunch of output written everywhere, and they may break stuff. But when you do something like this, you give yourself the power to control how things in your script work. So I can work on 10 different things. I can build individual PowerShell scripts to do 10 different things. And then I can come here and I can wrap those in functions inside my script. And then I can call those in the order I need them to be called as a well-rounded, a professional scripting process, something that's encoded and that is protected versus just throwing anything, just throwing up basically. So this just gives you an idea. What you now have is you've built a command that doesn't actually exist regularly. So if I open a regular PowerShell window and I type processes, nothing's going to happen. It's going to say, I don't know what this term is. But you create a dictionary basically here by saying, hey, I'm actually wrapping all this into this PowerShell script into a function, and then I'm calling this function now. And when I come in here and type processes, it actually runs something because I have defined what it's supposed to do. So it's just a way of simplifying how you run stuff and manage things so that you can do more efficient tasks.